Good morning, Void. So, watched another one late, and it ran a little late, so still waking up, but gotta get this one going since I've got a full day off ahead of me and a lot of movies to get to. So, let's at least clean up shop and get this one taken care of. Now, uh, last night I watched the 1978 film Magic, starring a very young Anthony Hopkins. I mean, he was damn near unrecognizable. I mean, when he first showed up, I thought it was him, but I actually had to look it up. Especially since he's doing this accent that's pretty thick. Well, now, Magic wasn't originally on my radar until earlier this year when I started my Shutter crawl. And I came across I think it was a failed TV series where it just did one pilot episode called Primal Screen, where it talked about people's fears, and that one was kind of much fear of ventriloquist dummies and things like that. But that episode pretty much ended up functioning as a glorified trailer for Magic, because they showed the trailer for Magic several times in it, and I will say it was a legitimately creepy trailer. I guess back in the 70s, the trailer was actually pulled from TV because people were complaining it was too scary. And all that trailer was essentially a ventriloquist dummy talking to the camera. And then just seeming to just roll its eyes up and almost look like it was dying. Anyway, so this film is about a struggling magician who's got no pizzazz, no charisma. But then all of a sudden starts making a big splash when he introduces Fats, a ventriloquist dummy, to his act. A very X-rated dummy, as he's quick to point out any sexual innuendos, make vulgar jokes, and the audience loves him. Well, as the movie goes along, and as Corky, who's our protagonist, played by Anthony Hopkins, goes along, well, the closer he gets to fame, the more erratic he begins getting, before finally essentially refusing to get a medical examination and fleeing out to his hometown, where he ends up staying in some cabins nearby there, which are run by an old crush of his. But as he goes along, it's unclear whether he's still in control or whether the dummies got more of a hold on him, as he does seem to be legitimately arguing with it and not in control of what it's saying. Now, they never quite explain what's going on with Fats. It could be Corky's like almost a split personality. People have theorized the doll's somehow possessed. I mean, it only seems to actually move when is touching it, except for maybe one scene where its eyes move on its own. But like its voice is usually just in his head, unless he's actually playing with the doll. So it is kind of unclear whether the events and deaths that follow are because of Fats or just Corky. As once his agent comes and finds him, well, his agent wants to determine to get him some psychiatric help, so, well, the dummy convinces him to not let him leave and kills him. And then when the woman who he's staying with, Peggy's husband comes home, well, the husband's suspicious, jealous, and gets in the way also, and, well, the bodies start piling up. Alright, overall, I did like the movie. It wasn't really scary in any way, but I will say Fats was definitely very entertaining. And you can see a lot of, this originated a lot of the possessed ventriloquist doll tropes. I think from what I was reading, the TV adaptations of the R.L. Stine ventriloquist dummy book series, Slappy, was his voice and a lot of things were inspired by Fats. And Anthony Hopkins did a great job doing the voice of Fats. but the otherwise the effects are few and far between. But mostly it's that creepy doll, and I think it's just the way its mouth looks and moves, like the teeth and the tongue that make it so creepy. So definitely gets points for that. And the storyline is engaging. I did want to see where it was going. But yeah, I think overall it was a fine film, not like a high tier one. I'd give it 6 MacGuffins. It's definitely worth seeing. Um, but beyond that, yeah, that's I guess really it actually for Magic. Yeah, I know this one has kind of been largely forgotten, I think, but I never see it referenced except for once or twice recently, and that was mostly people saying it was a forgotten film. All right, well, worth checking out, especially if you're a fan of Anthony Hopkins. All right, see you soon, Lloyd.